One thing I've forgotten to mention, I should have mentioned it, is the need to keep saving your work. And SketchUp has an autosave function, and at the moment it's autosaving. I need to let's have a look at this. We'll have a look at the files general. It's autosaving every 5 minutes. I think I'm going to reduce that just in case. I'm going to reduce that down to 2 minutes. So at the moment it'll be saving this as autosave untitled, but I'm going to give it an actual title. What should we call it? We'll just call it Designer Kitchen in SketchUp. Okay, and try and remember to click on the save button regularly. Let's just shrink these down a bit. Right, that was quite important. And now we're getting to the even more interesting part. And you need to start putting some units in now. And there's certain things that we need to remember. And the first thing is that you can't put a unit straight against a wall. Let me put a unit in. If I open the layers window, put some of these cabinets in over here at the moment. Let's move this unit in. I'm going to move it in, and to make it easier to place it, I'm going to turn off this wall, which is the party wall. No, I didn't put that on the party wall menu, the layer I mean. So there we go. Right. And when I move things, don't just grab it anywhere. Grab it by somewhere specific. What you're looking for is you're looking to tell SketchUp where you want to place whatever it is you're moving. And the best way to do that is to have an actual target in mind. Now placing this right against this, right into the corner, obviously I'm going to choose the corner of the unit itself. I'm going to go to the corner of between the two walls and place that unit. Now I just swing it around and put the wall back. Now you can see what would happen if we tried to open the door of this cupboard. The door would open okay because the hinges allow for that. The hinges will allow the door to open in its own length. However, the handle will obviously hit the wall, and it won't look right either. It'll look horrible. So what we need to do is we need to allow a spacer there, a filler, and generally speaking 50 millimeters is a good number, approximately 2 inches, and most handles will fit into that space. So we can say that the first unit needs to be 50 millimeters out from that wall. So I'm going to move it along a bit, enter 50. I'm not going to bother drawing in a filler at this stage. That's really not terribly important. And now, so we've got the first unit in, and I happen to know that the clients, what they wanted a tall unit on the worktop here. And in fact, what I'm going to do is, now I was about to, just then I was thinking I would show you a design, the actual kitchen design that was arrived at, but I decided that would be a bit of a spoiler, and so decided not to do that for the moment. Now I already know that this kitchen we want to have a tall cupboard, but if it's obviously going to be a fairly narrow one. The space we've got is 550 minus 50 for the filler, and we obviously don't want the cupboard to come right up to the edge of the window reveal, so we're going to want to be another 50 less. So with 550 minus 50 on one side, minus 50 on the other, probably about 450 wide. And I've decided that it would be nice to have a highline unit underneath which was in line with it. So we want this unit to be 450 wide as well. Now, there's quite an easy way to do that, and I'll show it to you now because you obviously going to need to know this. We don't want to have to keep redrawing a new unit for every different size that we might do. So I'm going to change the size of this one. Now, I could use the push-pull tool, push on that surface, but that won't work because of the door that's there. So there's another way of doing it. I've opened the unit by double-clicking on it, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the right-hand side of this unit. See how they've all highlighted in blue. I know that the unit is 600 wide, so in order to make it 450, all I need to do is to move all of this in by 150. And because I want to, with the push-pull tool will always move in a straight line from the face that you're pushing or pulling. But the move tool will move in any direction. I could distort this cabinet quite badly. Control and Z. So I'll always choose to move along an actual line, which will keep me moving straight. So I'm going to move it along here and enter 150, not 450 because it's already 600. And now I've got my 450 unit. Put the worktop back again and see how that looks. You'll just have to imagine the filler there for the moment. So what are we going to have here? Now I like to have drawers. Drawers are brilliant. Nice big drawers. You can get so much more in a couple of big drawers than you can the equivalent cupboard. And when you open the drawer, you'll be able to get at everything really easily. So what I want here is some nice big pan drawers. So the first thing I'll do is I'll measure the space that's available. I can see it's 1690. So using my calculator, if I divide that by 2, I can come up with 845. Now 845 is an excellent width for a pan drawer. Units with hinged doors, 600 is about the maximum width that you can safely get away with. Apart from anything else, it means the door's when it's open, it's going to be protruding into the kitchen by 600 millimeters, touch more in fact. Plus there's a strain on the hinge to be taken into account. But drawer units can be quite a lot wider. You can easily go to 1,000, probably even more, probably 1,100. I think the widest I've ever done is getting on for 1,200. But obviously this space is 1690 and we don't want it that wide, so dividing it by 2 gives us 845, and that will do very nicely. So let's have a look at that. What I'm going to do is pull this line out by 845, give me a guideline, and that's looking good. So what I want now is my pan drawer unit, and first thing I'm going to do, I already know it's 600 wide, so I'm going to have to add 245 to that width. So let's take off the window wall. Let's see, just swiveling around. Remember, I'm pressing down on the scroll wheel to get the orbiting action. I could simply go over here and get the orbit tool. Then every time I click and swing the mouse around, it'll move it. But I prefer to use the scroll wheel for this function. That's one of the reasons why it's such a good idea to use a mouse. In fact, I've known people try to use SketchUp with the little pads that you get on a laptop, and it really is very hard work. So let's grab hold of that. I'm grabbing hold by the corner and slide down, place it, swing around to the front again, and I know I need to add 245. It's already 600, need another 245, so I'll open the unit metaphorically, select that side. I can slide it along till I hit the guideline. Now that'll be 845. Alternatively, I could have just entered 245. So now I want another of these units. So I'm simply going to copy this one and press Control, We have. We could actually go along at quite a good pace. I mean, that part of the wall was very simple because I already knew I wanted a highline unit there simply because of the unit that's eventually going to be above there. And now we're going to get to the tricky stuff here.